Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bullvine Podcast. I'm your host, Bella, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Douglas. We've got an absolutely fascinating episode lined up for you today about a Holstein cow that quite literally changed the global dairy landscape.
That's right, Bella. Today we're diving into the extraordinary story of Decrausaz Iron O'Kalibra, a Swiss-bred Holstein who shattered preconceptions about European dairy cattle and rose to become Holstein International's all-time world champion. If you breed Holsteins or just appreciate exceptional dairy cattle, you won't want to miss this one.
I'm particularly excited about this episode because O'Kalibra's story challenges so many assumptions in our industry. For decades, we've thought of North America as the epicenter of Holstein excellence, with Madison's colored shavings and Toronto's Royal Winter Fair as the ultimate proving grounds. But O'Kalibra rewrote that narrative, didn't she, Douglas?
She absolutely did, Bella. And what makes this story even more remarkable is that O'Kalibra never even set foot on North American soil. Yet she earned global recognition that surpassed even the most celebrated North American champions. Her impact continues today through her descendants winning major shows worldwide. It's a story about exceptional genetics, visionary breeding, and breaking geographical boundaries.
Well, I can't wait to dive into this fascinating journey. Let's get started. Douglas, let's start at the beginning. When and where was O'Kalibra born, and what was special about her pedigree?
O'Kalibra was born on September 4th, 2008 in Switzerland, bred by Fredy Decrausaz and his sons. Her pedigree was carefully constructed, sired by Boss Iron, with her dam being an excellent 92 E integrity daughter, followed by a very good 89 milestone. What's interesting is that while this is certainly a good pedigree, it wasn't necessarily what you'd call a royal pedigree at the time. It just goes to show that sometimes exceptional animals can emerge from thoughtful, strategic breeding rather than just combining the most fashionable bloodlines.
That's fascinating. Were there any early indications that she was special, or did that become apparent later in her development?
You know, Bella, with truly great cows, there's often something that catches the eye even early on. With O'Kalibra, she developed that rare combination of dairy strength and refinement that makes a cow stand out. According to those who saw her develop, she displayed exceptional width of frame, dairy character, and that distinctive silky, nearly translucent hide quality that would become her trademark.
At what point did people outside the Decrausaz family start to take notice of her?
Edwin Steiner of GS Alliance had that critical, good eye that great cattle people possess. He purchased O'Kalibra when she was almost dry as a 2-year-old, recognizing her potential before many others did. Later, when she was a fresh 4-year-old showing her true magnificence, American Pat Conroy from Indiana acquired a share in this emerging superstar.
That's quite the international partnership. Did Pat Conroy ever share what initially caught his eye about O'Kalibra?
Indeed, he did. Pat was quoted saying, "What caught our attention was her massive frame, wide chest, and high-quality udder. She was the kind of cow that could look after herself and never had a bad day. In addition to that, she milked like crazy. That combination of functional traits and dairy character would prove crucial to her longevity and success both in and out of the show ring."
It's interesting how he mentioned both her conformation and her production abilities. That balance seems to be a recurring theme in her story.
Absolutely, Bella. If I could sum up what made O'Kalibra so special in one word, it would be balance. She wasn't just extreme in one area at the expense of others. She excelled across the board. And that's what makes a truly great cow, regardless of where she's born or shown.
And so, let's talk about O'Kalibra's show career. When did she first start making waves in the show ring?
O'Kalibra's competitive career began in earnest in 2011. That year, she claimed honorable mention champion and reserve best uddered cow at Swiss Expo in Lausanne, one of Europe's premier dairy cattle shows. That same year, she continued building her reputation by securing reserve grand champion at Expo Bull.
Those are impressive accomplishments, but I understand her biggest wins came later.
Yes, 2012 is when O'Kalibra truly arrived on the international stage. She returned to Swiss Expo and claimed the Supreme Champion title. But what's truly remarkable is that she wasn't a one-hit wonder. She came back in 2013 and defended her crown, again being named Supreme Champion at Swiss Expo. She would later secure this prestigious title a third time in 2015, establishing an unprecedented record of excellence at one of Europe's premier dairy events.
3 Supreme Champion titles at Swiss Expo is extraordinary. But her influence extended beyond Switzerland, didn't it?
Absolutely. In 2013, O'Kalibra competed at the All-European Holstein Show in Fribourg. This is where the finest Holsteins from across the continent gather, and the competition is incredibly stiff. Against this elite field, O'Kalibra stood supreme, being crowned champion in what observers described as one of the finest displays of black and white cattle ever gathered at one location.
That's when the global dairy community really started taking notice, right? What was the reaction from North American breeders and judges?
It sparked quite the international conversation, Bella. Many North American experts confidently stated that she should walk on the colored shavings at Madison and give the North American cattle a run for their money. That's high praise coming from people who've seen the best of the best at World Dairy Expo. Though she never crossed the Atlantic to compete, her reputation certainly did.
Why didn't she ever compete in North America? Was there a specific reason?
Great question. There are several factors that make international cattle transport challenging: logistical complexities, quarantine requirements, health certificates, and significant costs. Plus, there's always risk involved in shipping a valuable animal such long distances. Her owners likely weighed these considerations and decided her European show career was sufficient to establish her legacy. And history proved them right. She didn't need to compete in North America to be recognized globally.
What do you think made her so successful in the show ring? What were judges consistently commenting on?
Judges were consistently impressed by 3 main attributes. First, her dairy strength, that exceptional combination of openness, angularity, and power that defines elite dairy cattle. Second, her mammary system, perfectly balanced with exceptional fore and rear attachments. And third, that incredible hide quality, silky and almost translucent, which is something that can't be manufactured but signals exceptional dairy quality. But beyond these physical traits, she had that indefinable presence that makes a champion. When she entered the ring, people noticed. That's something you can't really measure or classify. It's just there with truly special animals.
Let's talk about classification, Douglas. I understand O'Kalibra achieved some remarkable scores.
She sure did, Bella. O'Kalibra became Switzerland's first cow ever classified Excellent 97, which is an extraordinary achievement that places her among an elite group of Holsteins worldwide. To put this into perspective, only a handful of cows globally achieve this near-perfect score in any given year, making it a hallmark of conformation excellence.
For listeners who might not be as familiar with the classification system, can you explain why an Excellent 97 score is so significant?
Certainly, the classification system evaluates cows on a range of traits that contribute to functional type: mammary system, feet and legs, dairy character, and frame. The score ranges from poor to excellent, with numerical values assigned within each category. Excellent scores start at 90, and anything 95 or above is considered truly exceptional. An Excellent 97 score means the cow is approaching perfection in conformation. Classifiers are extremely conservative with scores at this level, as they represent the absolute pinnacle of the breed. For context, in many countries, only a handful of cows, sometimes 0, reach EX97 in a given year, out of tens of thousands classified. So for O'Kalibra to be the first in Switzerland to achieve this score speaks volumes about her exceptional quality.
That really helps put it in perspective. And I imagine her classification wasn't just about aesthetics, right? These scores reflect functional traits that contribute to longevity and productivity.
That's exactly right, Bella. Her classification wasn't just about looking pretty. It reflected structural attributes that contributed to her functionality and longevity. This harmony between beauty and utility represents the ultimate goal of Holstein breeding: cows that excel in both the show ring and the milk parlor. Take her mammary system, for example. The exceptional attachment scores she received, strong fore attachment, impressive rear udder height, and exceptional rear udder width. These aren't just about show ring success. They contribute to longevity, reduced risk of injury, and sustained production over multiple lactations.
Were there specific trait evaluations where she really stood out?
According to her linear evaluation data, O'Kalibra demonstrated positive scores for dairy form, indicating her openness of rib and angularity characteristic of high-producing dairy animals. Her thorough width received an exceptional score, demonstrating remarkable width through her pelvic region that facilitated calving ease and overall structural stability. But her mammary system was perhaps her most exceptional feature. The teats were ideally placed, with both fore and rear teat placement receiving positive scores, indicating centralized positioning beneath each quarter that optimized milking efficiency and reduced injury risk.
So her classification excellence directly translated to her productive life and her ability to remain in the herd for many lactations.
Absolutely, Bella. And that's the key takeaway for breeders listening to this podcast. Classification isn't just about winning in the show ring. It's about identifying animals with functional traits that promote longevity, health, and productivity. O'Kalibra embodied that principle perfectly.
Speaking of productivity, let's talk about O'Kalibra's production records. Sometimes exceptional show cows don't always excel in the milk parlor. Was that the case with O'Kalibra?
Not at all, Bella. What made O'Kalibra truly special was that her show ring accomplishments were matched by her production capabilities. First calving at 2 years and 2 months, she produced a respectable 9,166 kilograms of milk, with 3.6% fat and 3.3% protein in 305 days.
And did her production improve as she matured?
It certainly did. Her peak performance came as a 4-year-old when she produced 14,247 kilograms with 4.0% fat and 2.9% protein in a 305-day lactation. That's over 31,000 pounds of milk in a single lactation, which is exceptional by any standard.
Was production excellence something that ran in her family?
Yes, it was actually a family trait. Her dam produced 13,372 kilograms as a 4-year-old, while her granddam recorded 14,217 kilograms as a 7-year-old. These production records demonstrate the depth of genetic potential in O'Kalibra's lineage. Great cows come from great cows. That's a principle that holds true generation after generation.
What about her lifetime production? Do we have those figures?
We do, and they're remarkable. Over her lifetime, O'Kalibra accumulated an astounding production total of 94,000 kilograms. That's 206,800 pounds of milk with considerable components. This exceptional lifetime yield places her among elite producing cows globally and underscores how show-winning type and high production can coexist in the same animal.
That's truly impressive. It seems like O'Kalibra really embodied the ideal of form following function. Her beautiful conformation directly supported her outstanding production.
That's a great way to put it, Bella. In the dairy industry, we sometimes create false dichotomies: show type versus commercial functionality, beauty versus production. But the truly exceptional animals like O'Kalibra remind us that with the right genetics and management, one cow can excel in both areas. I've seen too many breeders chase extremes in one direction or the other, either focusing entirely on show type at the expense of production or maximizing production while ignoring functional conformation. O'Kalibra represents the ideal balance, exceptional in the show ring and the milk parlor.
It sounds like there's a valuable lesson there for breeders. Balance should be the goal rather than extremes.
Absolutely. Pat Conroy said it best when discussing O'Kalibra. Cows that have some power and strength, yet are still dairy, will ultimately outlast and outmilk the high-style younger cows that seem to be one-hit wonders. I think that Iron O'Kalibra is one example that proves this fact to be true.
Veal. Let's talk about O'Kalibra's genetic impact. How has her influence spread throughout the Holstein population?
O'Kalibra's lasting legacy extends through her offspring, which have influenced Holstein populations worldwide. Her sons have been particularly impactful, with several entering artificial insemination programs. Notable among these are her Red Destry son, O'Kalif, and her Acme son, O'Kalibra, both acquired by Swiss genetics.
And have these sons proven successful as sires?
Her son from Acme, O'Kalibra, became particularly influential as a sire of show-winning daughters. He was the #1 daughter-proven type bull in Switzerland with a 134 ITP. His daughters include some truly exceptional animals that have continued the family's show ring dominance.
Are there any specific daughters or granddaughters that have made a significant impact?
One of the most notable is Decrausaz Snapple Shakira, a granddaughter through O'Kalibra who captured junior 2-year-old at the Royal Winter Fair in 2017 and later developed into an excellent 97 2E cow. Shakira went on to claim Supreme Champion honors at World Dairy Expo, proving that O'Kalibra's genetic excellence transmits reliably through generations. Other notable descendants include Lee Matters v. Calamera, who was first senior 2-year-old and honorable mention intermediate champion at Swiss Expo 2018, GS Alliance Sid O'Kamila RC Excellent 90, GS Alliance Okisha RC Excellent 91, and GS Alliance Knowledge Okatanga Excellent 92.
It's fascinating how one exceptional cow can have such far-reaching impact through her offspring. Are there more recent examples of her descendants making an impact?
Absolutely, Bella. As recently as 2025, her descendants have been dominating major shows. At the Schauder Best in 2025, one of Germany's premier dairy shows, O'Katie captured both intermediate champion and grand champion titles. O'Katie is a 3-year-old Stanton's chief daughter, and this victory follows her junior champion win at the same event in 2024. And the success didn't stop there. At that same show, Wilcor Awesome Okalata Red secured the senior champion title. Okalata Red is actually a full sister to O'Katie's dam, O'Kamera, further cementing the strength of this genetic line.
That's remarkable. Winners in multiple age categories, all tracing back to O'Kalibra. Can you trace that lineage for our listeners?
Certainly, O'Katie's dam is Wilcor Awesome O'Kamera RC Excellent 90, who was second place junior 3-year-old at the German Dairy Show in 2019. O'Kamera's dam is GS Alliance Sid O'Kamila RC Excellent 90, and O'Kamila's dam is none other than Decrausaz Iron O'Kalibra Excellent 97. So O'Katie is actually O'Kalibra's great-granddaughter. The fact that this influence continues so strongly 3 generations later speaks volumes about how prepotent O'Kalibra was as a brood cow. And that's really the ultimate test of a great cow. Can she reliably pass her exceptional qualities to future generations? O'Kalibra has answered that question with a resounding yes.
Trenching. Let's talk about O'Kalibra's place in history. How has she been recognized on a global scale?
O'Kalibra's achievements received the ultimate global recognition when Holstein International named her a world champion not once but twice during her lifetime, in 2013 and 2015. This placed her in extremely rare company, as very few cows achieve this honor multiple times. But the crowning achievement came posthumously in 2021, when Holstein International conducted a special competition to name the all-time world champion. O'Kalibra was ultimately selected for this honor, cementing her place as one of history's greatest Holsteins.
What kind of competition did she face for that all-time world champion title?
She was up against some legendary competition, Bella. The final showdown included O'Kalibra, RF Goldwyn Haley from Canada, and Throughline James Rose. Both Haley and Rose are iconic North American champions who, like O'Kalibra, had each earned multiple world champion titles during their careers. What makes this particularly significant is that O'Kalibra, a European cow, prevailed over these North American legends in a global competition. This outcome would have been almost unthinkable just a decade or two earlier, when North American Holsteins were generally considered superior to their European counterparts.
That really seems to mark a shift in the global dairy landscape. What do you think contributed to this change?
I think several factors have contributed to this evolution. First, there's been tremendous improvement in European Holstein breeding programs, with more emphasis on cow families and balanced breeding goals. Second, the widespread use of genomics and artificial insemination has democratized genetics. Top bloodlines can now be accessed almost anywhere in the world, which has helped level the playing field. Third, there's been increased knowledge sharing and international cooperation among breeders. Shows like Swiss Expo and the All-European Holstein Show have gained international prestige, and judges routinely work across continents, helping to standardize evaluation criteria. Finally, I think there's been a global shift toward more balanced breeding goals, valuing cows that excel in both type and production, rather than pushing extremes in either direction. European breeding programs have traditionally emphasized this balance, which has served them well as global preferences have evolved.
When did O'Kalibra pass away, and what were her final achievements?
O'Kalibra passed away sometime before September 2018. Her final achievements included 3 Swiss Expo Supreme Championships in 2012, 2013, and 2015, European Champion at Fribourg in 2013, 2 Holstein International World Champion titles during her lifetime in 2013 and 2015, and ultimately being crowned all-time world champion in 2021. She was also named Most Influential Cow of Switzerland in 2013, which recognized not just her show ring success, but her broader impact on the breed. When you consider her lifetime production of over 206,800 pounds of milk, her classification as Excellent 97, and her prolific genetic impact through sons and daughters, it's clear that O'Kalibra truly earned her place among the all-time greats.
Noving. As we wrap up our discussion about Decrausaz Iron O'Kalibra, I'm struck by how this one exceptional cow from Switzerland managed to challenge and ultimately change global perceptions about Holstein breeding. She wasn't just one of Europe's greatest Holsteins. She stands among the greatest worldwide, regardless of origin.
That's absolutely right, Bella. O'Kalibra's crowning as Holstein International's all-time world champion in 2021 solidified her place among legends like R.F. Goldwyn Haley and Throughlane James Rose. But more importantly, she proved that exceptional genetics paired with balanced breeding goals can produce results that transcend geographical boundaries.
And her legacy continues to thrive. The recent successes of her descendants at shows across Europe and North America demonstrate that her genetic influence remains powerful years after her passing. It's a testament to how truly prepotent she was as a brood cow.
For breeders listening today, O'Kalibra's story offers valuable lessons. First, balanced breeding goals that emphasize both conformation and production tend to create the most lasting impact. Second, don't underestimate the power of cow families and consistent breeding philosophies. And finally, excellence can emerge from anywhere. It's not limited by geography or pedigree.
In kneeling. We'd love to hear your thoughts about O'Kalibra or questions about her legacy. You can reach out to us through the Bullvine website or on our social media channels. And if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the Bullvine podcast and leave us a review. It helps other dairy enthusiasts find our content.
Our next episode will explore emerging trends in genomic selection and how they're reshaping breeding decisions worldwide. Until then, keep breeding for balance and remember that the next global Holstein legend might be taking shape in your barn right now.
Thank you for listening to the Bullvine podcast. I'm Bella, along with Douglas, wishing you successful breeding and healthy herds. We'll catch you next time.